The most common problem that we saw was businesses not being prepared to work remotely, even though we always give advice that you should really be using leveraging the cloud more and be able to work remotely because it's good for business and productivity and efficiency. A lot of businesses don't take that advice because it requires the investment. And unfortunately, technology is still something where people look to cut costs rather than to actually see it as probably the best investment they could make. We saw several people that we had given advice to over the years, when it came to working properly remotely, all of a sudden scrambling. Like, how do we work? We can't work from home now. And it happened very quickly back in March and April. We, for many of them, had to react and had to get them quickly into solutions that we had been advising. But the biggest mistake I saw that came out of that whole experience was, and we certainly can't look at our customers and say we told you so, but it was a lot of that we told you so. So we ultimately we did get the buy-in that we needed, but it was only because they felt so much pain that they made the investment in their business. And it's so much better if you proactively make the investment at your own pace rather than reactively do it because you have an emergency. And even that changes the energy of solving the problem, because now we're just trying to solve it quickly because your business is impacted versus like calmly and quietly, because we have time, because it's proactive. It all ties back into your original questions, like the strategy and the budgeting and that all happening proactively. That's the beginning of every IT conversation when it comes to your business. So the biggest issue we saw was people not being prepared to work remotely if there was a disaster. Those people that were prepared, in our experience, they didn't feel anything. They just went home and they worked, and we got very few calls. But that was the biggest issue. The second biggest issue, which you didn't ask me, was cybersecurity. You're
Yeah.
probably going to ask me, but if someone to tell you, is cybersecurity. We make recommendations on that all the time. The environment now is more dangerous than it's ever been. People are more aggressive than they've ever been, as far as trying to breach into your company. And because of everybody having their guard down, because they're scrambling to be able to learn how to work in this new way of working, there was a lot of people clicking on those spam emails,
Mm.
those phishing emails that, when you click a link, all of a sudden somebody's in your network and now they've got control and now you owe them some Bitcoin if you want your stuff to be decrypted. Huge surge in that happening. And we saw a lot of people that weren't doing the penetration and vulnerability assessments, which is a cybersecurity thing you should do. And they didn't have the right processes and systems in place to train people. We saw a lot of people impacted, some big breaches that cost people some real serious downtime. And while you're having a reduction in your business revenue because the economy is slower and everybody's fearful, the last thing you want is an impact to your business where you can't even operate to service the customers that do need your service because of a cyber breach. We saw
Absolutely.
that too, a lot of that.